Going live or what?
Yeah, we are. We're going live. Hey, everybody, what's up? It's Wardrobe and Hexy and McMurray.
What's up, everybody?
And we're all going to be on here with our little faces here for just a moment. Oh, nice hair. And hey, we're unboxing Ardennes II. We have 9 people on. I didn't even check. I hope Artie's done with this stream. If not, when he drops off, you guys can hopefully get a few people jumping on. But whoever's here, be sure you comment. We got we got one of the people or prize winner for commenting first. But you know, the prize is our admiration and love for you. We love you. So
Our undying adoration.
Dying adoration. But first, let's do that thing that we all love, of the countdown.
We're back.
What's up? I see Mandarin Mike says echo, echo, echo. Are we having an echo in here?
I'm not hearing it.
I'm not hearing it.
Okay, let us know, everybody. We want this to be perfect. What? Oh boy, I got called out. Sorry, Brian. Sorry, no robe. I do need a robe today, though. It's quite chilly outside. It's only like
I was just outside. It's gorgeous.
It is amazing out, actually. It's like 75 or something, but it's beautiful. But Brian, thanks a lot for calling me out. But you're right, I really should have had it. Not Jay, what's up? Good to have you on here. Mr. Charles Latora, nice. Oh, not interested in the game. I'm here for Hex and Todd. Charles wins the prize for the biggest. Kiss up. Okay.
Thanks, Charles. I appreciate it.
Well, he didn't know you were on. You weren't on yet, bro. Brah.
What are you talking about? I've been on since we went live.
All right. So everybody, let's talk about that. So there's already been an unboxing. That Kev Sharp guy on Big Board did it, so go check his out because it'll be good. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I think McMurray watched it or all or some of it, and I just watched a little second of it. But he'll give some interesting perspective on it. I did actually invite him on last minute because I saw that and I thought, oh, it'd be cool to get him on. So he might jump on. I have no idea. He didn't respond. I'm still waiting for all the contracts to get through that he can get on my channel. So because he's expensive, these guys are easy and cheap. Yeah. So everybody, thanks for jumping on. I started this way because I just want to real quick talk about the cover art. Because to me, this is reminiscent of the art that they used, and actually I'm looking at the fonts, pretty much the same. That's interesting. But similar kind of look as the Crimea game that's coming out. To me, it's kind of this computer generated thing. The people and all look a little strange to me as they did on the Crimea one. Whereas these are more like, it's not great box art, but it's like images that are kind of photoshopped together, colorized maybe, which I kind of like these a little better. I mean, this doesn't talk about the game. You're probably not here for a box art review or something, but just kind of showing some of the difference. Like, I've seen this picture before, but it's just black and white. And I think some of this is put in there. Like this building wasn't with that original picture. So I don't know, just my opinion on that. So let's get rid of this stuff. We don't care about these.
What do you mean you don't care about those? That's your favorite SCS game.
No, my favorite SCS game right now is A Victory Awaits.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. My apologies.
It changes. Although I did say that in that video of Raw Stuff 41, and I really need to play it again to see, like, what was I thinking about that? Avalon Hill ASL module. That's interesting. I wonder which one that would be. Yeah, Charles likes Nordic. Likes Raw Stuff 41. So I share good company. All right, well, we're going to do a good old-fashioned traditional unboxing. Hexy and I have received ours. McMurray will receive his, knowing how his post works. He literally has a post office next door to him. I'm not like joking. It is, well, I guess there is an empty lot in between you two. Maybe that's the problem.
There's quite literally not a building between the post office and myself.
Maybe that's some sort of temporal time distortion thing or something. Maybe something's going on there.
Yeah.
The
Check
I'll
your
tell
warp
you, it
coils.
might be a time distortion. It's certainly not a noise distortion.
Check
This
your-
guy does not. Anyway, basically, I do all of McMurray's shipping, and if he's supposed to get something from people, not all the time, but sometimes he'll have just ship. Like if Jeff sends something, he just sends it to me because
Yeah.
like he'll get it quicker. So I'm like his secondary post office, and that's for free too. That's a free service I provide to McMurray.
Well, except for I have to buy you these goofy little Matchbox cars.
Oh yeah, we need to make that exchange. Oh Jeff, by the way, I found those magazines you sent me. Okay,
Oh, thank God.
all right. So here's the box.
Anyhow.
Here's the box. Like nice reflection, nice shrink wrap on there. Got Ardennes II. You know, it's just this typical box, nothing big. You got your Merc boys fighting for their lives there, and we got the nice picture. And yeah, so there you go. We're gonna shrink that rip. Here, hold on, everyone, be quiet.
Rip that shrink, maybe? I can't believe you're doing this off camera.
Oh,
CAS
yeah.
Hey, Kev. Yeah, that's cool. I know it was
Yeah.
last minute and all that, but I saw your video and I thought you'd be good. But you can pipe in here if you're able to stay on. So, all right. So here we are, Ardennes II. Everybody, let's open this bad boy up.
I think that's the
Top
most
orange, Kev.
awesome,
It's always
awesome
good
art cover on a box I've ever seen.
It's
I mean,
pretty.
do you really like it? I mean,
I haven't
I
got
like
to
the
look
running
at it
half track.
real close, but it looks cool. I look forward to being able to look at it even closer, but it looks pretty good.
I like the American long coats.
that fire makes me feel cozy warm with the cold.
I'm sure that's what they were thinking too.
Standard little sheet of paper saying what you're getting. Well, let's see what you get in here.
I was about
So
to say, does it say extra play aid, or does it say play aid sheet?
I just like that it says one box and lid. 2 34 by 22 map sheets. So that's a cool deal. 2 counter sheets, one 1.8 series rulebook, one Ardennes II rulebook scenario book, 2 Ardennes II player aid cards, 2 6-sided dice, and thank you for your purchase. You're welcome, MMP. Little glossier type of material here on the paper.
Ooh,
I think it's
fancy.
this is what they've been using on BCS, I know. So I would like to point out in the description / show notes on YouTube, I did post a link to Board Game Geek. Carl and Hans take over the Nakatomi Plaza blog on Board Game Geek, where Carl Fung and I believe someone else.
You weren't joking about that.
What?
The Nakatomi Plaza comment, you weren't joking about that.
No, that's the name of their blog.
Oh, cool.
That's an amazing deep dive into a designer's thinking when they design games. So not just SCS, but like mainly it's all been BCS lately. Lots of good research talking about why they're thinking the way they do. There's a bunch of posts on Ardennes II. Now, a lot of them are announcing that it's ready for pre-order and stuff like that, the first few. But as you scroll down, you can see where they really talk about why they made the decision they did, the scenario design, why they used BCS maps, and some of those nods. There's also a Lee Forrester video where they talk about some of the rule things that they did, including little nods to Mark Simonich and the Zokban stuff. All right, so rule book here, Standard Combat Series Ardennes II, and it is 20 pages long. Terrain effects chart on the back. I'm sure someone, if there's not one in here, someone will make one that's a visual. So we'll look at this in a little bit more detail in just a second. So you got that. The only thing available on the website as of today at noon, which could be different now, were that the rules are not available on the archive on MMP, mmpgamers.com, just these tables here. So these tables look a little different to me. Just like all SCS games, I'm doing all the talking here. I need to shut up. Like all the SCS games, this combat results table is different for each game, and the way it results and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Does this look more or less attack? Does this look like it might favor the attacker or the defender a little bit more than most that you see? Or does it look pretty even?
Well, it's 1-to-1. What's 1-to-1? 3A and 4 for the D. So it's a little. It looks like it's a little more proportion to
Attacking.
advantage for the attacker.
I think the attacker.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Well, I don't know. Look, go all the way across the 3 to 1, and you still got attackers in the 3 or the from 2 to 5.
That is true.
Yeah. So it's okay. So apparently this is 2d6. So
Yeah, they're all 2d6. It's
I
SCS.
haven't played one in a while, but these for some reason these charts don't look similar to me for some reason.
Well, this is
They all
designed
change.
differently. This is they took a lot from BC. I like the design of this. It's nice and big. The
Right.
different colors in the columns. Now, I don't think they've done that in everything, honestly.
I'm happy that they have ratios all the way up to 7 to 1, because on some of the old ones they stop at like 5. Sometimes 7 to 1 isn't quite enough, but
I mean,
maybe
look at that 1 to 4 though. You have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's pretty decent chance you're not going to suffer a result. Actually, it's
yeah.
So I thought this was interesting. I just now noticed this. I mean, look at that. Before determining the odds, the defending player must choose to either hold or retreat. If hold is mandated below, he must hold. That's very different. That's not an SCS thing.
Hold is mandated.
Yeah. So basically,
yeah.
I think that means if you can't.
Well, yeah. No, it's a new rule. Now I see the explanation right down below it.
Oh wow, that adds some
Flavor.
complication to stuff. Yeah.
Now I see what the barrage marker does. Okay.
So the barrage. Okay, I was about to say, because I know I was looking at the charts and it looked like a barrage does different things than it has previously in basically any other SCS title.
Oh wow. Yeah, so it's just not simple roll of dice. Hey, I DG'd and you took a step loss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sort of is, but it is interesting that DG isn't on the CRT, unless that's part of the retreat thing.
Okay, so there's that. I'm just gonna move on to the next thing here.
Wow, actually, yeah. Sorry.
No, we can come back to this. And then, yeah. So Kev did mention, he goes full color. So yeah, that's a big difference. This is kind of more colorful, and I didn't even open the book. And yeah, the rule book is color. So we'll look inside of there. Maybe I'll go back to that. I appreciate you guys kind of chatting amongst yourselves. Brian, I do like your comment. Imagine getting 2 lids but no bottom. Meandering Mike has 24 bulge games, and you need more. Man, good chat amongst y'all. Appreciate this. Now Meandering Mike's realizing how many orders he has on P500. Mike's going into a meltdown here. Okay. So air supply for artillery table. Again, something different. DG effects. I think the DG effects are about the same.
They change in every SCS game, which is kind of cool, but also a little frustrating at times. I forget what they are if I play too many SCS games in a quick succession.
Yep. Check a look at the barrage marker effects there, Mariana.
Yeah, check a look at them.
So you got enemy full markers, only 1, 2 or more attacker. So attack defend, get down to a quarter. Move is 4 movement points. Friendly attack and event affects movement points. Half reconciliation table. Blah blah blah. I don't know that. Anyway, there's that. And of course, 2 play aids, which they didn't have. They forgot one of them, and they're very, very thick. Nice work. I like the very good quality. And let's just look real quick in the rules. I should have flipped this open, but Kev brought this up. So Kev, it's like you're here with us. Nice full color. Look at that.
That is pretty cool.
So you got barrage full, barrage half. Those are new markers. Airstrike supply. That's new. Now look at the artillery is a little different too. 6 bracket is the range, a defense, and a movement. Usually you have the number and the the number it hits on and the number and the range. 4, 5, or 6 shoots out to 1 to 20 or whatever.
It varies, Nordic.
Oh, and there's also, I'm super excited to see, there's divisional integrity in this too, which I'm pretty excited about.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome. Huh.
Non-Zoc-like effects when starting a phase adjacent to any enemy unit. The following applies. The unit cannot exploit or overrun. That's pretty normal. Moving from one such hex to another is +1 each time. There's defense. Traffic jams, so that's good. Blowing bridges, U.S. only. Bridge tested.
That's interesting. So when you're King Tiger, you let him go across first and the bridge collapse. The other two King Tigers can't go.
Special rules of all the VP hexes there. Special rules for allies, special rules for, I mean, look at that. Look at the special rules for both sides. Like half a page. German special?
Yeah, I would have thought this would have been buried in special rules.
You go to Time for Trump. Go to Time for Trumpets for that.
I can kind of see where when something's this zoomed out, it might not be, you know what I mean, as special ruly as one might think.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
So good question, Nordic. The answer to that question is each turn is 1 day. A hex is 1 mile across. Units range in size from battalion through brigade.
We got airstrikes, air supply allocation.
Wait, isn't Jeff is I can't remember. Todd might know this too. Are the counters in Bastogne not company size or battalion size too, or are those
are company?
Those are company. Okay, I was about to say.
I think it's 250 or 500 meters per hex or something.
No, I got you. That was just going to be wild if the counter scale was the same, but you blew it up that much. Anyways, keep going. My bad, Todd.
So Big Board says check the bug out rule for Artie. Hey, Jeff, you want to look that up while I show this other stuff?
Yeah, I was looking at that.
So let's. Maybe I shouldn't have you looking at that while I go over the turn sequence because this is always fun. This always changes a little bit in each of the games.
Right.
So the turn sequence is pre-turn, weather determination. That's not always something that happens. Airstrike availability, that's normal. Air supply allocation is different. Reinforcement placement is the same. Barrage and DV marker removal, US and German. So that changes in each game too when that happens. All right, so then you have a German turn. Barrage marker removal, movement and barrage, German half reconciliation. Again, no idea what that means, but that's a new thing. US barrage, US half reconciliation, combat exploitation, ignore on turn 1, and German supply. US turn is barrage marker removal, so that's the same as German. Movement and barrage, and US half reconciliation. In this turn, this is a very normal thing. The Germans don't get to barrage in this one, so the U.S. gets to barrage twice in the turn. Combat, exploitation, and U.S. supply. And then you have turn marker advance and begin new turn. So those are some of the differences there. The whole thing, one of the very first things is about this whole Zachbahn zone of control thing. So, Jeff, did you see anything about bug out?
Yeah, so whenever your artillery is in danger, given the below statements, artillery must bug out at that moment unless they are DG, which DG is going to be mandated hold for everything else anyhow. Barrage markers have no effect on artillery bug out. Artillery must bug out when an enemy unit with a printed attack strength of at least 2 either moves adjacent using its own movement points or begins a phase adjacent to it. And friendly units do not negate it. Wow.
Holy smokes.
All right, so let me just tell you briefly about the Zach. So I'll sum up with the sense here. No unit has a traditional Zach, nor applies any Zach effects.
What?
Hold on. Zachs are handled differently than in other SCS games. Some units, see below, create Zach bonds between them, while others do not have any Zach at all. There's an added cost of moving adjacently, moving from one hex adjacent to an enemy unit of any kind or status to a hex adjacent to it or another enemy unit. And then no unit has a traditional Zach, nor applies any Zach effects.
For those of you who are joining us who might not know, Zach is zone of control, which is traditionally the 6 hexes surrounding the hex in question.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry. Saying Zach a lot.
Yep. Zach bond exists between 2 Zach posts, each fulfilling all these requirements. Zach posts must contain at least 2 steps of infantry. And then it talks about what kind of infantry that means. They must be exactly. Oh wait, the two Zoc posts must be exactly 2 hexes apart. So the Zoc bond is a single hex.
Oh, so is it only effective in between 2 units as opposed to, so you can't like you don't exerting a zone of control over out into like an unprotected flank or something?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So yeah, the thinking there is, and one does a couple things. I mean, Mark Simich, got a lot of theory behind why he did it, but to me, it lessens the number of counters you need. 2, it illustrates, like, the whole point of Zoc bond is that your unit's not just in that hex; it's got some sort of fire zone, or they're in there. Well, imagine if there's 2 units, in that empty hex, there's less chance you can move through. So in Zoc bond, you can't even. The Zoc bond's different. It's not the same thing in this game, but it can mean we don't know all it means because I haven't read it yet. So anyway, that's kind of a fun thing. It's not exactly Zoc bond, so it's not an exact copy. So the other thing I wanted to look at was the scenarios. I do like it when they list the scenarios, like list them.
5 or 6 of them. Looks like.
Yeah, there are, but we're gonna have to go through them. So the Ardennes campaign, which is game length 16 turns. That's 16th December through 31st December. So this is the full thing. You can see the big old setup chart here. 7-2 is breakthrough campaign. This is map B, so there's a 1 mapper, so that's nice. 6 turns, 16 December through 21st December. With some, setup's going to be the same as the main scenario. Count Group Piper, that's map B north of, so it's just a part of map B. Again, that's nice for people who have limited space. 5 turns, 17 December, 21st December.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Answer Brian Jarvis. So
it sounds like
if 2 units have a gap between them and they both have at least two steps of infantry, then they form a Zoc bond.
What's the stacking limit, Todd?
Right near the front one.
Kenneth, I don't know. Some games, you're exactly right. The Germans have to do everything exactly perfectly and get real lucky, or else they're out of it. Some games, not necessarily.
3 units.
It'll be interesting to see how this campaign is set up and plays out. I think Kev pointed out that SCS system, especially standard stacking limit of SCS, it's weird though, Kev, because sometimes it's 1 unit, sometimes it's steps, sometimes it's what have you. But yeah, Kenneth, as Kev pointed out in his stream, usually SCS starts in a place that's very grounded historically, but then can get a little wacky just due to how the rules work, which is fine. All we're doing is mental masturbation here anyway. So
there's the stacking 3 units. Jeff found it.
Okay.
All friendly units count equally for stacking regardless of step, size, type, or combat strength. Units ending any phase overstacked or stacked the unit becomes DG, or with another division.
Oh,
which I really like.
Same.
Momentary stacking, even stacking between divisions or overstacking during movement is okay. This includes the moment of an overrun.
Now, I want to back up to that division rule. That has to be an effective supply because of the way supply was during that event.
Yeah, it's right below it. Who knew that this would be a stream where we read rules? Where's Hexy? I mean, not Hexy. Where's Warmud?
Warmud. We have a stream where that's all we're doing, and we got people commenting and excited about it. Honestly, I'm excited for that because it'll keep me from doing the Death Star with you pull the Panzer regiments out of Panzer divisions, and you stack them all up, and you just start smashing the Christ out of stuff.
Yeah, this game seems to me like it's going to play like way different than the original Ardennes.
Correct, mainly because I've been taking my allergy meds, so I shouldn't sneeze and displace everything around Bastogne.
Yeah. Wait till you see the advance after combat.
Buddy.
So you can go around. Yeah, that's right.
Can we see the advance after combat? I'm actually really excited.
Yeah. Okay. So we're good on visual integrity for now. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, we can read the rules later. That, or I'm sure.
Yeah, sorry, I got kind of stuck on that, and we were kind of chatting there. So where is go ahead and talk about it, and I'm going to go back to the scenarios.
So you got two. There's three weird rules I'm seeing here. Okay, so the first one is the mandated holds. If you are DG'd, you're under an enemy barrage marker, you're in a city hex, or the hex contains any leg movement allowance units, that's a mandated hold for combat.
Oh, so any just leg infantry, you can't just dash out.
Yeah, you just can't up and run.
Okay.
And I guess after combat, if the attacking unit is exploit capable and the retreat result is 2 or more, and the attack is not an overrun.
Yeah.
Wow. And then barrage, this is where this reconciliation, this half barrage, half reconciliation marker, those get dropped from barrages on units. And then you reconcile, you roll a dice to remove them. Where if you have a full, you replace if your reconciliation, if you roll a 1 to 3, you remove the half marker. If you roll a 4 through 6, you replace the half marker with 1 full marker. So that's going to be something new to add on.
That's going to add a lot of time every turn, it seems like. So at least up north, the U.S. should be putting barrage markers down like crazy.
And you notice in the game, well, you haven't got to the counters yet. There's 2 different color barrage markers.
Yeah, half and a full, right?
No, 2 different colors.
Oh.
All right, so let's finish up the scenarios and let's go look at those counters.
Yep.
So the 7.4 scenario is the goose egg. That's 5 turns, 18 December 22nd, and that is map B, east of and north of and south of inclusive. So a nice little section. So 2 or 3 nice small scenarios, or at least small map size. 7.5 Bastogne, Screaming Eagles under siege. That'll be fun. Something similar. Use both maps, but south of, north of, kind of a little section, and it's 8 turns, 1926. That'll be fun to compare those. Tip of the Spear, no comments, boys. Map A, north of, so another smaller one, 4 turns. So lots of nice things here. Now this stuff's going to matter. All who belongs to who and what to what. Oftentimes those don't matter. And that's the last scenario. Then designer notes. So this will cover a lot of the stuff covered in that blog. There's 1, 2, 3.
I mean, that's a lot of designer notes.
That's a lot for an SCS game. That's pretty
usually
cool.
There's a page, maybe 2.
Okay, and then just the reinforcement schedule is pretty normal. And then the terrain effects chart. I do look forward to someone making a visual of this, just because it's kind of nice to see, but pretty easy. They've got national borders. They owe their terrain, so who cares? Okay, anyway, Bob, we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. Let's get to the counters.
Only one sheet?
Hold on. Here are the dice that Kev doesn't like.
There's 2 sheets.
They don't roll very well for Kev. I understand it.
All right, here we go. Nice printing. Nice, everything's clear. Looks good. Hex, Jeff, you were talking about needing a knife to cut them out, maybe?
Oh, yeah. So my first row, when I tried to do just the hand push punch, I had 2 of them where the backing started to come off.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of flimsy, the back, for some reason. Now, it could just be mine. I just got an unlucky box, but the backing on them was not very good.
Oof. That's
All
it.
right.
I'm canceling my pre-order before they ship it and buying one in a month when it's been punched and clipped by somebody.
So you got I assume the color within the symbol there is helping you do the divisions.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure what the white color is for on some of these.
Task force.
Does it mean they're only single step? That's what it usually is. That's the depleted step. So flip over, Todd, or some of those.
You talking about this?
Yeah. You're right.
This is Artie. All those are Artie.
Now you got one that's not.
I was going to say, flip it over. Are they single step units?
Oh, yeah, sure enough. Okay, sorry. Yep, single step.
All right.
Yeah. I was about to say, usually that's the depleted step or the 1-step side.
All right, so, it's got all the stuff. So, 4th cav, 6th cav, 14th cav, all of the, I don't know. It says 4. Let's see. Let me find got your task force here. Sorry,
Well, he's looking. Yeah, if you guys have one, I recommend using a rotary cutter.
Where are the Germans, Toddy?
They don't. They're not in there. They don't have them.
Sweet. America. Are the tan ones there, are those British or are they a different division? I can't see what they are.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're British.
Yeah, the light blue one's a Belgian unit, and the other one's a Brits.
There you go.
So you got your turn marker, your airstrike or supply. You got your blown bridges. That's fun.
Yeah, where's that? Flip those blown bridges over. Are there?
The price is intact, right?
All just tested. Where's the? There's a marker for blowing a bridge.
Yeah, it's a little like a plunger,
little detonator or something.
Easy.
Oh man.
So Big Board says yes, mine was a little like that, but I clipped, so it's okay. Yeah, yes, Brian. Fan made graphic and reinforcements are nice. Let's look at the drone. So got your black nasty boys there. Come on now. Come on. You can work.
Hand. Swipe hand.
No, he was usually okay, there you go.
There it is.
Nice. Then you got Luftwaffe and Fallschirmjäger units. Nice.
I like the colors.
Panzer divisions and Panzer Grenadier units. 2 Panzer Grenadier units and a shit ton of Panzer divisions and SS divisions.
Yeah.
Good color. Good printing.
Where's the? Oh, there's the Volksgrenadier. There they are.
There's Vonderheit.
So I was curious as to if the Volksgrenadier were going to fall under that that not having 2 attack points for running artillery out. It is nice that they made Vonderheit unable to do that. Otherwise, it'd be really annoying just dropping him up on Elsenborn Ridge. And
well, you see what else is missing? They didn't put those infiltrating units.
It's the Brandenburgers.
Yeah, they didn't put them in there. Just Vonderheit.
Oh, they didn't put them in. I don't know. I can't see the thingies as well as you do.
Those were Stugs and Hetzers.
I was about to say, I saw where it looked like there was like infantry gun. Do some of those German units say SIG in the
down here
inside? Yeah, are those Schweres infantry whatevers or whatnot?
Pioneers.
Oh no, Hetzers. They're not. Those are Stug. I'm sorry, I thought that was an I, not a T.
So they got Jag Tigers, Hetzers.
Yep.
Nebelwaffes. Now this is interesting. I should have noticed this, but like there's no attack value on the artillery.
You mean like
it's just for range, defense, and movement?
Yeah, because you don't need one if your barrage doesn't depend on that, right?
Right, that's true. Okay, so there's your DG, traditional. Jagdpanzer, and then there's your barrage. German, American.
Wow. They added...
That's not a lot of DG markers.
They added flavor for artillery, but it also seems like they made it simpler.
Yeah, it's a different approach because without strength points, yeah, it seems like it would be simpler, but then the complication seems to be on the other end, right?
Right.
Was there just 2 counter sheets? I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. For a 2-map game, that's DG. That's interesting.
There's 22 DG markers there? Or is that 18?
Sure.
And they're double-sided.
Sorry to be so flippant. Look at this bad boy.
Todd doesn't care about us.
Oh, I care. Oh, there's some stuff on the map. So the series rule 1.8. This was in another game too. They did this, but it is nice to have the color. Just makes it easier to read the stuff. So there's the 1.8 rules. So this is 8 pages of rules. Not even that. 7 pages of rules. Plus the few pages in here. So, it's still amazing. All right, here it is. Fun time. Fun time. This definitely looks like a BCS map. So they used the BCS map from last Blitzkrieg for this. So it's going to look very similar. The charts look very similar. I guess we'll just look at one map at a time, and I will set it up and zoom out and look at the whole thing.
Oh, cool. There is like weather effects here. That's cool. That's good.
So this Belgium, Saint-Hubert, Roche for La Roche en Aldan. So, pardon me. I don't know. So you got all the blown bridge things are here. Like there's little markers there, that little graphic symbols.
Okay.
I hope you don't randomly have to roll for those like we did in It Never Snows, because I might be screwed. Those rolls did not like us in It Never Snows. Oh, dang.
Dang, boy.
Enhance.
That's a little too much in. I'm going to back out here just a minute.
Enhance. I saw that on TV. Oh, there we go. US
So, yeah.
airstrike table, bridge blowing table. It's nice that they put that on the map. I'm not going to lie to you. It really is. I appreciate the hell out of that.
This is map A. I guess either I hope it's on the other ones, or they also have it. If you're using map B and you're just using that section, someone will put these on a separate piece of paper, which will be nice. So weather table, no freeze, freeze. That's your options. Bridge blowing is failure, success. Terrain key, pretty normal. U.S. airstrike table.
Slide the map up. So
Yeah, I was about to say, we can't see any of that. Zoom out.
Oh, well, that's fine.
slide it up a little bit. There you go. There's your terrain key. Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Yep, there's your illustration there to show you what.
What's the number on the airstrike table? Does it say anything above the top of it?
So, one die, roll each turn using the column identifying the current freeze conditions. The result is the number of U.S. airstrikes available. All turns before 23rd December are no freeze.
Well, to say the nice thing is
All
the
turns.
first 8 turns or 7 turns, the U.S. should be able to just start smacking stuff, which I like. That's fun.
So and the counters have airstrike points on the airstrike counters. Supply or airstrike. Okay, cool.
So, is that?
There's like 5 or 6 green units that have airstrike, U.S. airstrike on.
Okay.
Yeah, you said that.
There we go.
You mentioned earlier that there's airstrike that's either supply or airstrikes, which makes sense.
That's your airstrikes there.
What happens if you roll a 6? There's only 5 markers.
Well, no, it's the number of points I think you get.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's good. I was about to say that's kind of weird, but yeah. I got
Okay.
you.
All right, let's zoom back out. Like I said, I'll set it up on. So the bridge blowing table's on map B as well as the VDH success table.
The what?
VDH success table.
Oh, Vonderheit.
Oh, no charts on the second map.
No charts on the second map. So Luxembourg, Germany.
Well, that's odd too because a lot of your scenarios are going to start with that map.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it. That's the map with the real estate. They need the whole map. You know what I mean?
All right. And you could fold the A map down to where just the charts are showing if you.
Accurate.
I don't know. I think this is going to be fun. Are we really going to be able to wait till December to play the campaign?
No.
Well, I can wait because I got a lot of other games there, but I do want to play a couple of the scenarios.
Jeff, how about this? We'll play a couple of little scenarios, then we'll play the full campaign because we got to finish A Victory Awaits before I can play the campaign with 2 maps.
Because we can't move those Panzers from the East Front to the Ardennes until December.
Correct. Yeah. And until they, get 3 years older.
All right, everyone, chat amongst yourselves a minute. Let's move the stuff back here.
So it's 2 22 by 34s.
You guys might not know this. It is cool to see that they're sitting next to each other lengthwise. Or I guess they're sitting vertically, you could say, as you look at it. That's kind of cool. I wasn't sure. That makes more sense. That's how the old one was, but you never do know.
Now, Andrew, you going to get both these maps on your table?
That's what I'm saying. We got to wait until we finish A Victory Awaits.
Yeah.
The only way
What was
I
the
got
first one? Did the first one have 2 maps in it?
it did, and the only way I got it on this table was I had to put leaves into the table, and that doesn't work because you can't get around the room. You can't get through the room at that point in time for the most part. So we're back to single map games really in the house, which is the unfortunate reality with Thunder in the Ozarks too, because it's just that slightly too long that I got to play that in the garage now also, which makes me actually really sad, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to it. That is a nice map. I liked the old map, but that one certainly looks a little more readable.
Okay, so I am I'm gonna have to take. I'm trying to hold the. It's a little shaky here, everybody.
That is quite manageable, and I'm really excited to get a hold of it, to be honest with you.
Come on now.
Valley with Bastogne in the middle of it. That's perfect.
Yep.
Right there, Todd.
Right, sitting there right in the center.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
The
That looks. I like that. That looks really good.
The one thing that we talked about a lot, because I don't know, I can't stand them. I can't stand reserve markers. I'm happy that they brought it up to SCS, modern exploitation as opposed to using reserve markers. Yeah, there it is. Right there, buddy. When you zoom out this far, it's really obvious why that was such a big, hey, we should probably capture this stupid thing.
Is in the northern tip of the map, is Liege actually on the map up there?
Yes.
Or it is, really.
I'm pretty
Is
sure.
Antwerp?
Should be up there by the river in the top left.
Oh,
Not
top left. Okay.
corner, but
Yeah.
on the top of the left map.
I'm just kidding about Antwerp. Antwerp.
There's Namor, Hoy. I thought I saw. Yeah, there's Liege. Right. The last text.
Yeah.
Sweet.
This covers about the same area as the Bastogne Screaming Eagles game.
No, it doesn't. What? If you took a notebook piece of paper and laid it over Bastogne, that's how much is on Bastogne.
Oh, I don't know what game I'm thinking of then. That I saw some of. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
I was about to say Bastogne is super. It's not even the full lower map. Yeah.
Well, Brian, he would do that, but the lease ran out on his last blitzkrieg.
Yeah, there you go, Toddy. Maybe a piece of construction paper would cover it, but yeah. That's
Sorry, my lease did run out.
what game are we talking about now?
The one this is based, the map that this is based on, the last blitzkrieg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I really like the look of the map.
All right, so cool. We got a nice looking map. We got some different charts, some different rules. It's gonna be this is gonna be like playing a whole new game other than the SCS standard rules.
Yeah, I'm quite excited, to be honest with you. I'm tempted to play through a bunch of different games again for this, but that got kind of wearing on me with Gettysburg after a while. Maybe Jeffy will play this and then play through Avalon Hill or Battle of the Bulge and see how fast we can get through that.
I'll never outdo you.
What?
I'll never outdo your speed play.
Oh, I just mean for each of us. Certainly. There you go. Brian's already talking. Yeah. Battle of the Bulge 65 maps. Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent they are, but then at the same time, like all the same stuff is on there. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
When it comes right down to it, it's still the same general area.
Yeah, this one will be definitely worth playing.
I'm quite excited.
Well, we hope you get yours in the next few days. You haven't got a shipping notice yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I
They probably
haven't.
said, I'll tell you, man, they saw that you're in the deepest, darkest part of St. Louis. They're going to hire Stanley Livingston to find you.
I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered it at the same time as
You did the same day.
as you guys.
Yeah,
because
you
we're all
did.
fucking live.
Yep.
I don't know. Whatever. My pre-order from Storm Over Jerusalem came in, no problem. No problem. So I don't know what it is about.
Well, Nord, I mean, okay. So I know the three of us go through them to find out which game. You want to make it simple? Which one provides the most fun? Or in some cases, maybe which one provides the most historical aspects.
That's fair. My big thing, Nord, is also something like this is going to take a couple weeks to play, right? Maybe a week if I'm like off or something, but probably a couple of weeks. Something like Avalon Hill's Battle of the Bulge is an evening, or maybe 2 evenings. So it's just kind of depending on how heavy of a thing you're wanting to get a hold of or I don't know, dedicate to it. So it's kind of like if you go back and watch over on Hexy's channel, we talked about 4 introductory Gettysburg games. And even with those introductory level games, there were things that we pointed out for each of them that kind of set them apart or made them more desirable for some reason than another one. And stuff like that. So it's kind of just one of those, well, what do I feel like? And if you're a psychopath and you want to play all of them, which I have that problem, and I unfortunately just got a big lot of games that I need to figure out what I'm doing with because I like to play all the games that I have. But
a couple more Gettysburg games for you sitting there at Todd's house.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, did you see where when Kev was talking with Mark Walker, they're putting out an expansion for A Most Fearful Sacrifice?
Expansion?
Yeah.
Well, Chickamauga is the next game in that series.
No. It's not. I'm not saying another game in the series. He said it was an expansion.
Oh, I heard
I
somebody
haven't got to listen to it fully, but maybe it's like Brandy Station or something, and you got the cavalry thing going on, or.
Well, I heard somebody talking about like the way they were referencing sounded like a 3rd edition because there was something they were adding. Could be East Cavalry Field because that's not on those maps.
Yeah, that's my point. What or what if
East Retreat? Oh, Pipe Creek. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
yeah, the Pipe Creek plan. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There you go.
So, Nordic, I hope this might answer your question, what they're just talking about. There's, there you go, Brian, you got it. But I'll show Brian's answer here. Yeah, anyone on the chat, please answer Nordic's question because like Meandering Mike, you said you have a dozen Bulge games. But there's just different ways, different philosophies about what represented the Battle of the Bulge or Gettysburg. Like, why was there victory? Or maybe it was someone might think, well, I don't think the morale was reflected right. I feel like the morale of the Union wasn't reflected well in this game. It's a fun game. I just feel like they should focus on morale. And someone maybe artillery had more of an impact. Like just finding that, Gettysburg 77 just doesn't seem quite right. The artillery maybe wasn't thought through, but maybe other things are really fun. So there's a lot of different. I never was a Bulge fan, but then I played Bastogne, and then I kind of just spent more time reading and learning about the Bulge. I'm like, man, there's a lot of interesting battles here. That's why it's such an iconic, Alamo type of situation and Last Stands and, an attempt to do some just stupid, ridiculous thing. But who knows? Maybe they would have got lucky and got past somebody. Who knows? But they, we all know, I think ultimately it would have been a waste of time. But
all the Bulge games that I've played, all of them but one, the Germans never win. Can you guess which one my Germans won on? Can you remember?
Ardennes 44.
Ardennes 44.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The only time I've really got my Germans to win was in Battle of the Bulge, Avalon Hill.
Yeah.
But then I think the second time the Americans just smacked the living Christ out of them. Who knows? Again, that's part of the fun too, Brian, Nord is playing a couple different times, especially when you've got those small games. It's a whole lot easier to go, well, what if I try this time than it is with one of these big games that I'm 100% going to play the entire campaign of, but it might not necessarily be something that, I come back to within the next year or so, as opposed to Battle of the Bulge. If I wanted to play that every month or so, I feel like it'd take me a while before I got bored with it. But it's also manageable to do that.
I like what Brian says here. So, Nordic, I don't know if you probably didn't catch what we were talking about, but so Bastogne, which was right here on you can't see my maps anymore. Right on the map, we have a game called, I don't know if you know, Bastogne Screaming Eagles. It covers, the hexes are smaller, meaning the scale is smaller. What did I say? These hexes were a mile?
Yeah, they're like 400 yards in Bastogne, if I
Yeah,
recall
so
correctly.
400 yards versus a mile, and it's only like he's like like putting an 8.5 sheet of paper or something over this map, and that's the map, but it's obviously bigger because
Yeah, and then the counters, like we talked about, instead of being battalions, they're companies.
the movement rates are different, and it's a focus on that part. You're trying to get to Bastogne and a couple other things, whereas this is you're trying to maybe you ignore Bastogne. I don't know. Well, it's worth 5 victory points, so you don't want to ignore it. So that's an interesting thing too.
I feel like it should be a reasonable victory location.
I know. There's a so there. I don't. Is Nordic? Are you a minis gamer? Is that what's going on? I think Nordic's a minis gamer, right?
I was about to say, Nord, if you're a mini gamer, it's kind of like, if you've got a few different rule sets for, say, ACW. Sometimes you want to play Fire and Fury. It's a whole lot crunchier. You get a lot bigger scale games. And then sometimes with those same miniatures, you can also play something like Rebels and Patriots or something of that sort where it's lighter. It's a more beer and pretzel sort of thing. Beer and pretzels is not really a term that gets tossed around a lot necessarily as much. In the board gaming community, it's still around. But
have you ever noticed that most of the Bulge games, and I don't know if I've seen one that's any different, they all just cover crossing the Meuse River.
Yeah, that's why I asked Todd.
Antwerp was the objective,
Antwerp was on there. Yeah, that's why I asked Toddy if Antwerp was on there jokingly. Like, you get Piper to Liège in a day and a half, and then the British and the Americans just have some, like, East-Western church schism, and all of a sudden the Germans sue for peace, and Hitler's pipe dreams become true.
I was going to get a favorite hex counter. Oh, okay, that's interesting, Nordic. Okay. I think we've done this before with you, but we're all always welcome to give you suggestions.
But Chuck was saying just the opposite.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you kind of, that's the cool thing about doing both, because you kind of go in, I go in stages. Like, I've been really a hex encounter for a long time, and I'm sure I'll switch over to minis at some point.
Yeah, he's going to start collecting 28 millimeter World War II.
No, it's 17 mil. I'm collecting.
Yeah, the 187th plastics.
Yes.
And Hexy's down to 6 mil, so
I'm so happy you're painting 6 mil finally. I told you it's so much easier. It's more fun. You can complete your brigades a whole lot faster. It's pretty awesome.
Brian,
can't you hook the Hurtgen and Vakdam Ryan in decision games?
If you wait not too long, maybe less than a year, Todd will have a copy of Goss Hurtgen for sale. If you give it, I give it maybe 6 months. I
don't have it again, but I will, and we'll sell it again. So
yeah. Exactly. That's my point. It's going to be maybe a year.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah. So Brian, I think it's not quite the same thing at all, but I think Beyond the Rhine you can do that. The OCS game, you can do. They have a little bulge scenario, but you can use the whole map and do Hurtgen, but that's way zoomed out.
I'm with Mike.
Is that divisions or something? I just was going to talk about. Did we talk about barrage? Did you guys do that well? And I just didn't hear you. How you place a barrage marker?
No, we didn't cover that. We just said it was different.
Well, so your artillery can't be DG, which is different. You can shoot artillery when it's DG in some of the games.
Yeah, sometimes you just have. Sometimes you can't.
This is different. You cannot have moved in the current phase. So you can't move and shoot. You can't do that in most SCS games. You have a target hex at or within the range. So I saw ranges of 3, 4, 6, 8, maybe. Now this is interesting. And is a straight line.
Oh, wait. That makes sense. What?
Yeah, I don't. I'm like, what? Wait, what?
I don't get the
what the fuck does that? Or excuse me, what does that mean?
Hex row?
Oh
no, that'd be stupid because that means that all of a sudden, once you get to 2 hexes out, there's just blind hexes you can't shoot at.
No, that doesn't matter because you have a spotter. There must be a friendly unit within 2 hexes of the target. Hex and terrain and line of sight do not matter.
But what's the straight line thing?
I don't. No, someone help us out here because I first I thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. And as I sit there, I'm like, wait a minute, like you don't normally go in like you don't normally snake around the map. Like I don't ever remember doing that in SC.
Yeah, I was about to say if you went 1 hex, 2 hex, 3 hex, 4 hex, 5 hex, 6 hex, you would still be within 6 hexes straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Brian, there's not in here, but I don't think you're going to need it for that. I don't think you're going to need the target markers.
Hey, Todd, how does 10 millimeter World War II go?
Well, no, I just want to tell them I like Pendrac and 10 millimeter World War II. They are really nice. They paint great. They're really awesome. They also leave my house quickly, but they are great. Because I would
make friends with somebody with a 3D printer and just play in 15, buddy.
John, what are the titles of the 7 war games you still own?
But
well, you saw 4 of them at the beginning of the video.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, you have a spotter. The units that spot cannot move after being used as a spotter, but you can move before. See also divisional integrity. And not during
they have to be division spotters, right?
What?
They have to be spotters from that division, right?
Probably, yeah. Anyway, any number of available barrages can be executed against any given hex during a phase. That's
because the organization and the axes of advances were very stringent in the German plan. So, I mean, every attachment had its assignment to something. So that would explain why divisional artillery can only support divisional units.
That's a pretty that's a cool addition, right? Quite literally 5 hours ago, I was listening to a Rob Citino lecture about the difference in German command structure and kind of doctrine and practice from the beginning of the war to the end of the war, and where you move away from clever generals being fired in exchange for enthusiastic generals.
Right.
Like what's his name on Sicily, who just promised with the Hermann Goering division to just have a reckless attack on the enemy. Like, that's cool, but it's certainly not the I'm not saying that, in 1940 in France and in 1941 you didn't have guys just recklessly advancing. I mean, look at Erwin Rommel in France. But at the same time, instead of just being like what you were just talking about, Jeff, that advanced through the Ardennes in 1940.
Right.
You didn't necessarily you have to stay within these borders, or else you wouldn't have Erwin Rommel wouldn't have any notoriety.
Well, and a lot of those divisional commanders too took it on their own to make their own to make their own decision on where they were going, and that was the German army was at its best. In the beginning of Barbarossa.
Exactly, because you had that Prussian, okay, if you don't have orders, make them. Or if something is outside your orders, figure it out, do it. Not.
Well, so in Gauss you have the army boundaries where you can't cross. In BCS you couldn't cross the supply paths, right?
Yeah, and you have to be in you have to be in blobs, kind of groups.
And in this game here, so your border is sort of just saying, hey, artillery can only support its divisional units.
Yeah. But are there restrictions as to, XY division or XY corps or whatnot can't leave? Can what are the two? You had 2 German army groups, right? One in the north, one in the south.
Yeah, Jeff, look up divisional integrity, Jeff, if you don't mind, real quick.
Let me just open my rule book here. Because you had
you don't have one yet, do you?
You had Sepp Dietrich and who as your army group or your army commanders here?
Stinkelpinkel.
Or not Hermann von Stinkelpinkel.
The 7th Army, which was nothing but infantry down in the southern part, just
the south
flank. And then you had the 6th Panzer Army, and was it the 5th Panzer Army?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, there were 3 of them.
So real quick, while he's looking that up, so here's the barrage success table.
What am I looking at? Oh, I got it.
So you look at the terrain; they're in the open. I don't know what the parentheses mean yet, but barrage success roll. So let's look here at the bottom. It says +1 to each roll for each additional unit in the target hex. So 3 units would require a die roll modifier of 2. Okay. Okay, so then in the parentheses is the half effect marker, and the non-parentheses is the full marker.
And what are the effects of that?
Well, that, yep. So then that's
That's on the table sheet.
Yeah, because you can't have 2 or more barrage markers on there. So each time you're rolling, if you have 2 or more, attack defend is a quarter, and the move is 4 movement points. Any barrage markers cost your friendly units +1.
I heard that, but if a unit is wearing a half marker? What is the effect? Is half attack strength, half defense, half movement?
Half is. Oh, interesting. It's not. Oh, half. That's the half reconciliation table.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, what does it mean to the unit that has that on it? I mean, what is the effect?
Jeff, here it is. Are you ready? Remember, there's the reconciliation phase. Right. You're going to roll that, and if it's a 1 through 3, you remove the half marker, so now they don't have it at all. Or 4 to 6, it's going to replace the half with 1 full marker.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, I remember in our normal SCS games, a DG means that a unit has half strength.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
What does that mean in this game?
Jamie Cross.
Half and then a quarter, I think.
Yeah. One marker's half and 2 movement points. 2 or more are a quarter, and
their attack strength and defense strength, right?
Correct.
Okay. So divisional integrity, you were saying?
Yes. Sorry.
All right. So if a division artillery piece doesn't have a spotter from the same division, it cannot fire at all. And here's an interesting one. If more than one division's units are stacked together, the stack is DG'd at the end of the current phase. Violating the divisional integrity while overrunning does not affect the units involved at all. And independent units can stack with any division without penalties. And divisional integrity does not apply to reinforcements in their entry areas. I tell you, it looks to me like they've thrown in a dozen. And it's cool how they did it, because we didn't affect. You got to love how SCS works. So we were talking about that before we started. How long has 1.8 been in the? 1.8's been in here for 2 years, hasn't it?
Oh, at least
it's been in for a while.
Right. So they managed to keep this going. You got to love this, because, all right, here's my core rules. If I actually wanted to play a game with just the core rules, I could do it. And then they add these 2 or 3 pages of, here's how artillery has a special function in this environment. And
the turn sequence is different from game to game, for that matter.
Yeah, but do you notice that we can translate it playing any one of these games without any problem? There's not many systems out there that can do that.
Yeah.
And this one does it really, really well. So you guys out there have not played it. If you want an easy play, pretty damn good game, 90% of the SCS games fit the bill.
Yeah, so Nordic, most of the games, Rostov 41, Bastogne. Those are good ones to start with. I don't know if I'd start with this one. This has got a lot of little, but if you've never played much, then yeah, you won't know the difference.
No, outstanding one to play.
So Big Board, he said in combat, which I didn't see this, but he says it includes hex and hex side terrain, not just most beneficial. Is that new? Yeah, it's new. It's usually the most beneficial. Now, I noticed the only hex sides are sea line, Muse River, stream. So like they go 1 left, 2 left, and then you have your defender. So if you're attacking across a lot of these hexes, you're crossing a stream, you're going to go 1 left, and you're in a woods, you're going to go another 1 left. So you're going to go 2 left for that, which I think that's cool. There's no halving and plussing attack and defense.
And are they accumulative?
Those are, yeah, that's what he just said. That's what Big Board's saying, if I'm understanding his comment. Yeah. Half barrage markers have effect, FYI. Okay. I just missed it then.
He's running with I'm about to say Rommel's advance was not reckless. That's fair. I didn't have anybody on his flanks, and he was commanding a division of meth heads. But it worked.
Oh, come on, man.
He was. What is permanent, Todd? It's like meth, coke, and chocolate.
Oh no, I was talking to Kev.
Oh, sorry. Panzer Chocolate is meth, coke, and chocolate. Permanent is basically
Any specific rule on whether DGX? Oh wait, any specific rule on whether DG exploit capable units still exploit and or overrun? No, they cannot.
I was about to say usually that's a no, but again, it does change from game to game.
Important, DG units cannot overrun or exploit. If a unit becomes DG during the exploitation phase, it ceases to be exploit capable at the moment and no longer functions in the current phase. And you can't barrage. This is interesting. This is for you, YouTube boys. I was fighting 3 days at Gettysburg, says Nordic. Had a good fight going, but it's a lot of activations for one person to run through.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't have the ability to set a game up and leave it, probably shouldn't mess with the big games if you don't, like if you've got pets, cats, or you like to open windows at both ends of the house when the wind's blowing outside, we'll know who that could be.
That isn't me. I sneezed on mine.
Yeah, or don't sneeze. Don't get a cold when you're playing it. But I know a story about a guy that opened the windows at both ends of the house and destroyed a game he was playing.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've heard that. It's one of our lovely viewers.
Yeah. But
Not
yeah,
me.
if you can't leave one of these things up and not worry about something knocking it over, me, it's fortunate. I don't have to worry about any of that crap.
I don't know anything about 3 days of Gettysburg, but there are some games that it's tough to play solo because there's so much going on that you kind of like, I'm done.
I was about to say, talking about all those activations, it makes me think of a Victory Awaits. So I'm sure it's not as many as 3 days of Gettysburg, but it is nice to have two people sawing through those activations simultaneously. That's super helpful.
I did want to say,
you guys are talking about Napoleonic games. Jeff, I finally got a Napoleonic game that I think I can stomach.
You got one? Oh, I thought I sent you that one already.
No. This is
I did. You got it.
No, you sent me.
I sent you two games, two little tiny games. One was the Devils or the Little Round Top 20th main game. The other one's the 100 Days Battle.
Hang on, jackass. I got it right here. Yeah. Okay, you did.
And the one I sent you came from fucking Sweden, buddy.
What?
Purchased in Sweden.
It's manufactured in Maryland. Why the hell?
I know, but I bought it in a knick-knack store in Sweden back in 1982.
Jesus Christ. They were still fighting the Russians at that point.
OG, how you doing, buddy?
so yeah, Nordic, that library of Napoleonic battles, I tried that for a second. It's a cool system. I'm not going to play it because it was a little bit more than I wanted to do for Napoleonics, but it's a cool system. The maps are beautiful, and
thus it's sitting on my fucking kitchen table.
So yeah, Nordic. So what I'm hearing is that the game it's just a lot to go through for one person. It's like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, I think we've all hit that in various games. Which is understandable. Sometimes I honestly prefer chit draw to break that up because I find it easier to come back to if I can see, you know what I mean? It's easier to get halfway through a turn because you already know exactly who moved or who activated and who didn't.
But that a Victory Awaits game, that's another conversation. So I hear a couple of future conversations, like how to handle the big games, especially when you're playing solo, and maybe another discussion I would be interested in. I was listening to podcasts. I'm just kind of curious how to rate how to look at generals, and we say, oh, Patton's the greatest, or Rommel's the greatest, or Van Manstein, or Bickle is the great. Everyone's got their opinions. I'm curious how you evaluate that. I don't want to get into this call because we've gone over an hour. That's a long unboxing, and as much as I love having all the people in here chatting, I think we've hit the end of our topic that we were going to talk
probably
about.
Hit the end of our topic.
Unboxing. This is a cool game.
MMP. If you see this video, send me my game, please.
Yes. We transfer topics so easy with this group.
We do. That's a real nice way to say we get sidetracked real fast.
I was trying to be professional.
I would not having not played it. I would right now, based on what I'm getting in the box, I would say get it, but we'll all play it and we'll give our opinions after. Probably won't give our opinions honestly until the end of the year because that's when we'll play the full game. But unless we run into something playing the short scenarios. Yeah, that's right, Meandering Mike. 68-minute unboxing because we're men here. Men.
Yeah, so I
Real
was going
men
to put
doing manly
Stalingrad on the
Talk.
table, but now this game's here. I'm going to have to change my mind. Something.
Oh yeah. So what were you? So yeah, what were you gonna play?
I was going to play that Stalingrad game you sent me, Streets of Stalingrad or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Is this Streets of Stalingrad an ASL module?
Battle of Stalingrad.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna play that. I thought, but now it looks like I'm gonna have to do an Ardennes scenario, which that won't take me long. An Ardennes scenario won't take me long. I'll play it in McMurray-esque. McMurray-esque.
Did you say McMurray-esque?
McMurray-esque. I'll play it McMurray-esque.
You're gonna finish it?
I'll cram it.
All right. Oh, thanks for popping on. I really appreciate the comments. It was a very lively, chitty chat. That was awesome. Hexy, McMurray, thanks for coming on. Good to have the company for an unboxing. I don't know if we set the record for the longest unboxing, but we're getting pretty close, I think, for a two map game. So thanks all. Everyone be awesome. Talk to you later. Bye.